Hello and welcome back to Versus. We've got another match, and James is joining us again. Hello, James.
Hello, hello. I'm back.
He's back, and I'm very excited about this one because Owen turned up for the first time this week and was asking around for decks to borrow. This was their introduction to Canadian Highlander, and the deck that he wanted to play was my mono black price deck. So it'd be fun to watch somebody else pilot it. This is my pet deck, the deck that I built for this meta and was my first introduction to the format. The whole point of the deck is attack, play one drops, play two drops, attack, get opponent down to a low enough life total. If you find price of progress, we are splashing it. We can often kill our opponents with exactly that. Niall's playing a Rakdos Aggro deck, so it will be a little bit more difficult than when I'm playing against 4-5 colour decks. There's a lot of hand hate in here to disrupt combo and control players. My points, or sorry, Owen's points, are Demonic Tutor, Strip Mine, Mox Jet, Urza Saga, Ancient Tomb, and Reanimate. Rakdos Aggro, then, James. What's it about?
Yes. The title gives it away quite a bit. It's a pretty aggressive deck.
Okay.
In the colours of red and black. It's very low curve. I think there's like maybe 10% of the deck costs 4 or greater. So a very low curve from Niall. Just trying to beat people down with quite a traditional list, really. There's not too many like crazy out of the blue things here. There's just a lot of interactive, efficient, good red and black creatures. A lot of removal spells and a bit of reach with burn spells. Not loads. Also running price, although you kind of more expected in a red black deck than just a mono black deck, quote unquote. But yeah, just a lot of efficient threats trying to get them dead. Points again, not a million miles away from yours. 3 each on a Mox Jet and a Mox Ruby. 2 on a Vampiric Tutor and 1 for Ancient Tomb and 1 for Reanimate. So
very nice. Yeah, very similar.
Both decks are trying to get the other one dead as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Niall's definitely more leaning into the red proper 2-colour deck.
Yes.
And when I've played against Niall previously and his aggro decks, it's been quite difficult for this mono black deck to get a win because it's, like I said, it's set up to play against the combo and control mid-range piles. Quite a lot of my 1-drops come in tapped or don't block, so it's not the ideal matchup, let's say.
Yes, it's hard to win races when that happens. But I was wondering if this mono black price got the Gas Guzzler card from the new Aether set, actually, when I was thinking about it in the weeks. When I was reflecting on cards that might be considered playable from the new set, that was one that definitely occurred to me for this deck.
Interesting. It is 1 mana 2/1 that enters tapped and just has some upside, but yeah, I've not put it in yet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one to try. Well,
You can already see the importance of winning the draw, winning the die roll. Sorry,
yeah,
in this game.
This is rough.
I do always love the 1 mana, the 1 power, 1 toughness tramplers. I always think that's a fantastic combination of rules text and power and toughness.
Yep. This one just looks like what's her name from The Emperor's New Groove?
You lost, I'm afraid. Not seen that one.
You need to go. Let's stop this commentary. And you can just go and watch The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, I've got Disney Plus, so I can just go.
It's worth it, I promise. Is it Isma? It looks a lot like her. Anyway, moving on. We cycle a troll.
For a cool bit of value on this Evora. One of the things that is often lost when you're cycling is that even when you're swamp cycling, you are discarding the card. Not like activate. It is activating ability, but that's part of activating the ability. So
discard this card.
There is more and more, especially in these Rakdos colours, oh look, here's an Inti and here's an Evora, and look at this extra bits of value I get from just discarding stuff. You've got Carnage Interpreter, I want to say it is, in the artwork there, which obviously kind of discards your hand and cares about not having stuff. So there's a weird amount of like card advantage coming out of discard in
Yep.
red black in 2025. It's a really like cool area to get to explore, which is kind of what you get to do when you're focusing more on this 2-color deck rather than going 3 and 4 color kind of mid-range piles. It's just that level of efficiency lets you get extra synergy, and it's really cool.
Yes.
Not damage here though.
There's it's a discussion I've actually been having in limited recently of actually should we be splashing for 3-4 color piles and just going for actual card power, or go 2-color synergy and just have the cards really fit into an archetype, and that's essentially what you're saying there, right? If we want to lean into, we can lean more into these discard strategies, because we're going to be playing some weaker cards because we're only limiting ourselves to 2 colors.
Yeah.
But it's going to be more streamlined, and the cards are going to be interacting with each other a little bit more. It's a real slow start from Owen. Not ideal.
Yeah, 1 drop into turn 2 removal. It is a bit rough to try and just go threat when you're on the draw against an aggressive deck. This is a nice one though.
That's
Bit of
good.
life gain, eating the bin up.
Potentially turns Nethergoyf down a little bit.
And if Nethergoyf dies, it might get rid of it before Niall gets to bring it back.
We have just pointed at Ivora instead of the troll, though. I think the troll's probably scarier.
Well, the Ivora comes back to less stuff. Like, I'd imagine there's Unearth in here. So, or like just picking up a bit. I would agree with you. I'm trying to argue it the other way. I would probably agree with you though.
Yeah.
There's some minor upside to Ivora.
Yeah, I can see it.
Just reanimating a troll, even on turn 4, against 2 creatures is pretty scary.
Come on then, as an aggro aficionado, James, what's the tutor going to get?
I assume you're talking to a different James who's on this call that I'm unaware of. It was really cool discarding a seasoned Pyromancer to the blood. That's really neat. This could just be one of the scary 4 drops, like Scarlet. What's the name? There's something Scarlet. I can't remember what her name is from the clue set. That's a good 4 drop that means people can't block. Headliner Scarlet. That's it.
Oh, right.
It's Headliner Scarlet.
Oh,
you could
yeah,
just go
creatures can't block. Yeah.
Oh, like a Pyrogoyf, just a really. Oh, yep. We get to. Didn't realize that was in his deck.
Oh dear. Here's a life linking. Right. What we don't want to see in an aggro matchup is 10 power worth of lifelink.
6 of which has triple menace.
Yes.
Is that the Unearth as well? Oh my god.
We've got it all, guys.
With no cards in hand as well. That is absurd. That is a heck of a turn.
Yep.
And the Nethergoyf is still big enough to attack through this Graveyard Trespasser, which is huge as well. That is a tough thing to have to try and fight back from in an aggro deck. It just makes price even worse for top deck as well, because it just gained 10 life.
I think this is just game over, honestly.
You know your deck better than I can, and I can't think of anything that would get you out of this.
Weirdly, my aggro deck's not playing board wipes. Like we can get a Shadow Spear that just means we don't die very quickly, but Niall's going to be so high on life total that.
Yeah, it's just like trying to empty out a boat with a spoon, isn't it? Like it's just not gonna.
It ain't gonna work.
Yeah, we're gonna dig for something with this Starlight Stalker dying here, but again, can't think of a lot that does a lot here.
To be fair, even if we'd exiled the troll instead of Ivora, I think the game we'd still have a game, but it would still be a very difficult one.
Yeah.
Although maybe Niall doesn't go and get a metamorphic, I think he probably still does.
That's still quite a powerful thing to do
in an aggro matchup. Yeah.
It's interesting. I might just be swinging with the seasoned Pyromancer here.
That miner can't block.
That is unfortunate.
It's getting a free block. Good old miner. Well done.
Okay.
So,
oh dear.
Obviously, like I said, Owen is borrowing this deck. And
Yeah. Yeah, this is a rough spot to be in. I would argue even attacking with the Season Pyromancer there is totally fine, right? Because you've got it set up to exile and make 2/1/1s if it dies. Nothing else is being blocked. Like this is how I try and justify aggro decks in my head: is be as aggressive as possible, which is definitely not the right way to play. I'm so bad at aggro decks. Anyway,
I do think aggro, even in these aggro matchups, there are more decisions to make than people give aggro players credit for. It is still a hard puzzle. You have more of a default of like, I should be attacking. What are my reasons not to attack, rather than do I just get incremental damage in so that I win the long game?
yeah.
But it is still not an easy. Yeah, it's not an easy format. Full stop.
No, the complexity of the format does make it less likely that this is just to turn everything sideways type of situation, even when you are even on red deck wins or something, you know. And it is like, I would be surprised if maybe Owen does attack here. Maybe he just puts all the equipment on a trespasser and hits. And if he's got something to back it up with, maybe that's good enough. It just doesn't seem like it's anywhere near good enough. He should be on. Did he take the 2 from drawing the card of shouldered as well? So I assume that 6 is right. I think it is. So even with this, he's going to go up to 6, and that's just not good enough. If he's got nothing to follow this up with, he's going to go up to 12 and take way more than that on the backswing.
Yeah, we may have life totals wrong here, but
I don't think
this game is over.
Yeah.
Knowing the deck, this game's over.
Oh, so I think we did have it wrong, but we've managed to fix it there, because he should have gained 5 there, but he's actually gained 3. So I think we were 2 down, and we fixed it there. So that's good.
Yep. Okay. Caught up.
Yeah, no white that can't block. He just dead on board, right?
Play a tapped creature. That's the way to do it.
Could he do everything? Yep.
You found the line, Niall. Well done.
It was just turn everything sideways. I was right the first time.
You were right. Making me sound like a fool now.
Oh, they're easy. Anyone can play aggro, I'm sure.
Yep.
I just don't, because I choose not to. That's the only reason.
Oh, Owen was just saying there that he didn't see the troll, so it was just a miss.
That's unfortunate.
So I don't necessarily think it was. It could. I mean, it did make a fair difference to the clock, but
yeah, but it's not like that. Ivor wasn't going to grow. It would have drawn another card with the blood if what Niall got wasn't what he needed. But you know, following that up with a shoulder with the next turn was huge. Is that another Nevercoif? Bloody hell, no. You're a different card.
we do have for game 2 some mulligans, I believe.
Definitely, that's one back.
There's one gone to the bottom.
Is it just the one?
I think it's two. Yeah.
That's. We already. Oh.
Changing our minds.
We did already discuss in game 1 how important being on the play is here. So.
Being on the play and 2 cards up seems pretty good.
Yeah, this is a good spot for Owen. You'd be hoping he can.
But we do just start with a raucous theatre.
Yes, in this
isn't
deck,
ideal.
How many 1-drops do you have in this deck? There's got to be like 20.
Not as many as you'd think.
Right, okay. Yeah, Niall's on 18 1-drops, if you count permanents and spells.
Yikes. No, I'm on 9 creatures, I think it is. 9 1-drop creatures.
It's only on 4 permanents, I'm including spells as well. 13 spells are the mana value of one. So, bolts and stuff.
Right.
He definitely looks like he's focused heavily around the 2 and 3 drop. There is, yeah, that's where the bulk of the threats
Yeah.
for Niall.
That makes sense. I think that it's very similar for the mono black deck. So I've got Cult Conscript, Dread Wanderer, Gutter Bones, Stalactite Stalker that we just saw, Bloodsoaked Champion, Forsaken Miner that we saw doing some blocking for a change, a Knight of the Ebon Legion, Deathrite Shaman, and a Nethergoyf. So it sounds like I've got more one-drop creatures than Niall does.
Yep. Now I just keep destroying Nethergoyf into Troll of Khazad-dûm cycle, which is pretty good from his point of view, really.
Yeah. I'm not even trying to be unbiased with this. I want a victory for Owen.
You want your deck to win. That seems fair.
I'm sat here going, yes, Niall has to mulligan down to 5.
Just doing your best evil villain impression.
Yes, that's it.
So the white was dealt with, which is good. I would assume if Owen at least kept 6, if not a 7, there is more than one threat here, though.
We do have an Urza Saga again, which is nice. Yeah, the white is one that is better in these matchups than it is in like the combo control matchups, because it actually can trade and replace itself.
Yeah. It has to deal the damage, right, to exile it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can't just like fatal push their creature and get a token. No.
That's it.
Just
Oh, we love this card. This is one of my favourite cards from recent sets.
Bat Bob.
Bat Bob.
Yeah. Good old Bat Bob.
That comes with a baby Bat Bob. Sometimes. Not today.
Bat Robert? I don't know. I'm trying to think what the junior. Ooh. Grief. That's huge.
Oh.
Headline Scarlet.
Yes.
That did look
Looks
like a
good.
Volrath Stronghold, which will get it back very slowly.
Still can't even tell what that card is.
I think it's a Volrath Stronghold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
there
is.
we
I
go.
just
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
put creature on top of library. Okay, interesting.
It's the same cycle as Academy Ruins. No, it's not the same cycle as Academy Ruins. That was printed afterwards. It's the same type of card as Academy Ruins. Though.
So, as somebody who has a monocolored deck or pseudo monocolored deck, the slots for your utility lands is just an interesting one for me. So I still look at utility lands and go, interesting. Should I be considering that?
It is an interesting decision. It's one of the reasons I've stopped playing Saga. It's partially because it's pointed, but partially because like, what am I making out of this in my 3-color deck? At least, like if I might make a 2/2 and a 3/3 and go and find like a Mox, which is all good. Is it worth a point? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure it is anymore.
Okay.
And there's what level you get to those types of lands. Like I think Strip Mine is an easy include if you just have a point spare, because you can even just replace a spell with it and feel like that's pretty relevant, But you're starting to get to other utility lands.
I'm even
that are
stronger
picking
on
up
Strip
value.
Mine at the moment because there just seems to be so many lands that are important. I mean, we saw last time around Paradox Academy. Like, if we can strip that, it's big time. I kicked
Yeah,
Torak's
go back-
pretty darn good as well, by the way.
Yeah,
Even if we do know that Niall's just on a couple of lands in hand, pretty much.
But we have seen all the discarding that Niall wants to do. So we just grow the Turak every time he does that.
That's true. That's true.
That's kind of cool as well. Yeah, I think this. Yeah, I'm just trying to work out something.
They're just checking life totals, but we've got it right.
This does look like a rough spot for Niall here. Like no cards in hand. Nethergoyf does not, unless Owen gets real unlucky with this Dark Star Ogre. Oh yeah, the Saga should have gone away as well. Good spot.
The Saga should have gone away, and if we go and get Shadow Spear with it, it offsets the Augur real nice.
Yeah, you can just shove the Shadow Spear on Turak.
Which looks
is
like
a line
exactly what
that he
Owen's
is.
found, so nicely played.
And this does seem like a pretty rough spot for Niall to try and climb out of. In the same way as we were talking about why it was rough for Owen in game one. Like
Yep.
there's just a bunch of power that lifelinks. and that's a good way to win a race. When you're hurting them, you're helping yourself. Let alone the fact that this is now 7 total power versus Niall's 3.
So this is why I really like Urza's Saga in this deck, because Shadow Spear against the aggro in the aggro matchups is massive,
Yeah,
to the point where it's game winning, and in the mid range matchups, going to get Skull Clamp can also just be massive.
yes, that's fair. Skull Clamp does feel pretty good when you're sitting against a control player or like a mid range player like you say, who's just being like, well, I'll kill this and I'll kill that, and you're going to make you chump with all your tokens. But if you turn all of those into 2 more cards, it's way more powerful.
Yeah, against control, I end up just like chipping away at little by little, and it's a case of just move that Skull Clamp onto the biggest thing, and go, do you want to remove this? Do you want to remove this?
Yeah. It has been interesting. I was actually thinking recently, partially about Skull Clamp, because having played on it, was Life Death, just the other way. I normally end up on the side of the person trying to kill the creatures that are attached, have a Skull Clamp attached to them.
Mm-hmm.
And having recently the finals been on the other side of it, like gaining more appreciation for how powerful that is.
Yes.
And also having put Ketramos in my control deck, I was thinking about, at what point does an exile spell become so much worse than a destroy spell? Like, maybe I should just be playing Path to Exile over Fatal Push, even though it does give them the land, because with the upside of Ketramos versus, Graveyard Mattering versus all of the other stuff, that's a pretty tight one. Like, I could easily see the argument going either way there. But you could look at some, like, less efficient exile spells and look at maybe the lower level of destroy spells, like we saw Long Goodbye earlier in this game. That, depending on the situation, there might be reasons to like balance that one way or the other.
Yeah,
for giving up. That's fair.
Orcish Bowmasters is enough.
Those are cool lines. Those are cool lines to try and think your way through. Path versus Fatal Push is one I'm actively thinking about quite a lot, just because
of this new god thing.
Well, that's the reason I've started thinking about it more, but it is also relevant. A lot of people
I think
running
if it weren't for the god, I think it would be, for me, it would be you just play Fatal Push because it's most of the time the better card.
Yeah.
But the combination of opponents actually wanting things dead, there's quite a few decks in our meta that want creatures in bin and stuff like that as well to feed off of.
And there is stuff like, like Hazel's Dark Depths deck, it deals with them out large much better than Fatal Push could.
Yeah.
And I've always been quite high in exile removal. Like I pretty much always play Leyline Binding, March, and Prismatic Ending, and obviously Swords. Swords to me is obvious, but like I've pretty much always played those 3 in white decks, regardless of maybe not March in a 2-color deck. That's probably about that's probably the restriction I put on that. But I've always been really up on exile removal. Wandering Emperor goes in lots of my decks as well. I just think that's like the value that you get from that is really huge. So I was really excited about Ketramos. Plus, it's got a cat's face on it, which is cool.
Right, game 3, and we do have a 1-drop this time.
Yes, it's Owen's turn to play the first creature. Depends on how... never mind.
So rude.
It's Niall's turn to play the busted 2-drop from Lord of the Rings. So...
Oh, that's so painful.
Bowmaster is such a good card.
It really is.
Yeah, it is crazy how good it is. But there's way less hate. I mean, there is a grain test against Bowmasters. Obviously, you see it and you're like, oh god. Yeah. But like, it does have such good rolls against things like oh, that's not what you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Things that can't block.
I told you half my creatures can't block.
But it does play a really good role against people trying to do unfair stuff or let you creep through against control decks. Oh, this is a lot of damage. Undead Sprinter, sprinting on over. Yeah, I've spoken to you quite a bit about the demagicking of Magic artwork.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened quite. I think Aether Drift's quite a bad one for it, and Duskmourn is quite bad as well. But it does look kind of silly. I do like. Why is this guy? I don't know. It's cool. Like I don't want to get on anyone for enjoying the art that they like and the style of the card that they like, but I don't understand this.
I was going to say, and that's somebody who's very much appreciative of getting all of the full art foil versions of cards, right?
Yeah, I'd be really sad if I had a deck with Undead Sprinter in it and a full borderless foil one I had to get was
Oh,
a
right,
1980s.
okay. So, but you would do it.
Yeah. I would do it because that's it. That's what that deck does. You know, if you're doing that type of thing, that's what it does. But like,
that's the aesthetic you're going for.
Yeah.
Right, we have a Thoughtseize. Case, Fell, Shade. Okay.
Shade comes back. That seems like a weird choice. I might go with Case.
I think it's the Case for me as well. But, okay. I guess that's... No, I'm wrong. We're both wrong, because that's the only one that blocks, right?
That's true. Oh, he's got to reanimate. Who cares?
That makes more sense.
that makes loads of sense. I mean, the Opposition Agent also blocks, and is a much better card. Yeah, it's interesting that he didn't take Opposition Agent. I suppose Opposition Agent is not a windmill slab.
Didn't the Opposition Agent come in response to the Thoughts?
Oh, right. That makes much more sense, yes.
Yeah. Yep, it's what Bloodgust does.
Gets in for 2. No one ever blocks it. Undead Sprinter is a really cool card for me, just having like bad mouth its art. But it is I really like the fact that if it trades off, it just comes back immediately. Like as long as it doesn't trade off with the zombie. I just think that's a really
it's pretty powerful. Oh, Lurrus is nice. Bit of lifelink is we were just talking about Shadow Spear being really important.
And it will just let some cast this Dread Wanderer again from the bin, which is nice.
It costs 3 to do this, right?
Tapped, but no, it's fine.
Oh, we pay yes, of course.
Yeah, cool.
Niall thinks that the activation's happened, but no, we're just casting off Lurrus.
It is a little unfortunate that and that is the downside of a deck point. Everything either enters tapped or can't block. Oh, and this Douthie's really bad. But the fact and
removal for Lurrus.
That is a rough 1-2 punch. Have to deal with, and this Douthie, like, there's absolutely no reason for. And now the Skyclave Shade can trade off, and we'll just put both that and the Opposition Agent under a Douthie. Although it does mean the Undead Sprinter can't come back because a non-zombie creature won't die. Because it'll be, I think Douthie's a replacement effect, not if it goes instead exile it. But this is a tough. We've had all 3 of these games have had one person kind of doing the thing their deck wants to do just a bit better than the other one and being in a tough spot. Even though there's no life gain here, like the bit of not being able to block and entering tapped and stuff is just rough. Yeah, now it makes sense to trade in this Orc because this Bloodgust isn't coming back.
Yeah, Niall's just had all the pieces basically to kind of shut Owen down here, I think.
Yeah, Case making another thing that can't block.
Like I said, this is one of the worst matchups for the deck.
Yep, that's fair.
And you're seeing exactly why.
Yeah, you're just looking at a 3-1 and a 2-2, and I suppose the Dread Wanderer can block, but with this Douthie, all of it's just so bad. Yeah, confirming it. It is a removal spell here. Doesn't look like it though. I probably would have just slammed that removal spell if I had one. Douthie can get in for 3, guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, it's lethal if there's a removal spell. Oh,
okay. That counts. That counts.
That'll be lethal too.
Yeah, I can just throw the Skyclave.
Throw anything.
Yeah, probably not the Douthie, but yeah.
Yeah, don't throw that one, Niall.
Yeah, it's probably just strictly correct to throw Shade though, right? Because it is technically Owen's card, so it goes under and then. Also, Bombardier showing why it's busted.
The card certainly knows how to finish off games. Thank you very much for joining, and until next time, bye.